I like what you said about the diversification thing, because it's, I think too many people get too caught up in diversification, especially when you're starting out and you've got a small amount of money. Like even what I'm talking about here with like $1, a week. Do you really want to diversify if you have $1 a week to invest? Probably not. I mean, you'd be better off. Yeah, even Warren Buffett has a quote. Rather than have many eggs in a basket, I'd rather have one egg and watch it closely, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think you necessarily need to own 10 different things. I think that's a huge mistake. I know I made that when I got into crypto, and obviously when I first got into crypto, it was just Bitcoin. Then it became Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then all the other ERC20s came out. And then suddenly I remember I had a portfolio of like 30 different cryptos, and I was like tracking all these different cryptos, trying to figure out, how to manage my money and treating it more like the stock market. And I did do pretty well just because the whole industry grew. But, over time I lost on certain ones and then gained more on others. And I realized, it's better to just have a small portfolio that you can look at very closely, understand everything very deeply. Make a spreadsheet. Yeah. I remember when Neil used to say that a lot when we were on the podcast, like a couple good quotes from Neil, and that was one of them. And then another one was, it needs to be enough size to matter. I forgot exactly what the words he used, but
which goes back to the concentrated bets thing. I mean, listen, exactly. I remember when he said that the first time, and I was like, bro, I wish I would have heard that 10 years sooner. Because I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've been right on stuff, and percentage return was sick, but like the actual dollar value didn't, change anything because I didn't have enough size, because I was always very good at diversifying. I've been always better at protecting money than growing it. I can grow it, but it's more of a slow grind. And Bitcoin is one of many examples of me being very, very right, but just not having enough size. So, and I just responded to a comment in the Threadcast where they were kind of saying that, who is it? Monk Masters got into Bitcoin very early, but didn't DCA. And, had he, it'd be financially free. And I'm just looking, and I was like, yeah, it's like 100% same thing. Like I got into Bitcoin early, and then I didn't buy anymore. Like I literally bought Bitcoin and then never bought any more Bitcoin for another like 3 years or something. And, obviously things would have worked out a lot better had I just DCA'd.
Yeah, it's always done very well for me. Like I said, I really think I'm going to start putting out more content about that, just as a reminder, not only to everybody else, but also to myself, that's been the number one way I've been successful, is dollar cost averaging, and then just literally waiting it out and just timing the market.